Hello, everyone. I'm Willem,
And I'm Tim.
and this is Hear Me Out Pitch. And it's a Valentine's Day episode. Love is in the air.
But obviously not for this movie.
Yeah, not for this movie. No. Yeah, we're here on Valentine's Day.
Or alternately known as National Singles Awareness Day.
Yes, but I'm the single one. Tim is not. So, Tim, why are you chilling with us today?
My wife has homework. Simple answer.
And I'm sure. Oh, yeah, that's right, because it's someone's birthday this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Tim, how old are you turning?
I'm not as old as you are.
Wow.
Sorry, that was a little mean.
Is it 20?
23.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
I really was about to say 24, and you said 23.
No, Sabrina's 24.
That's right.
She'll be 25 this year.
Man. I promise what I'm drinking is not alcohol.
Are you sure? Looks like it.
Yeah, no, it's Gatorade. They came out with Gatorade Light Blue Glacier. I'm so excited. Anyway,
It's a weird, like, rectangular bottle.
I know it's for it's like Pedialyte. So it's to help you pee better. Pedialyte. I'm just kidding. That's not why it says that. Anyway, but we're gonna go right into it because it's Valentine's Day and it's honestly been kind of a long week already, and we just want to get this one done. And we're gonna talk about Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, because really,
No, not really. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. Simple answer.
I'll tell you. For majority of it, I like it. There are just some parts I'm like, I was able to rewatch it today. Well, at least I listened to it while I was at work. I had it on. My phone was away from me, but I just listened to it. And I was like, yeah, this isn't terrible. It's just the Macguffin of it all was just not needed. She just wasn't needed at all.
So, yeah, I guess my biggest issue with this movie is they made Wanda a bad guy.
Oh, I
hated it.
I was all for it.
No, the Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff is one of my favorite characters in the later MCU. From Age of Ultron on, she is one of my favorite characters. She's one of the most powerful characters. Her powers are super cool. I love her story. She just has a good.
They had a good build-up, but
great.
I'm gonna drop something on you. She was always a villain, or at least she. So, one of my favorite renditions of Marvel Comics was Wanda snaps one day, and because her powers are, she's a mutant. She's not from an Infinity Stone, whatever. But in this, and she's Magneto's daughter in the comics. Her and her brother, but they weren't in the MCU, and I loved how they did it. Very well done. In the comics, there's one time where Wanda wants to have two kids with Vision. She always falls in love with Vision. And one day, she snaps and changes reality so that mutants are the top of the hierarchy and humans are lower. And all the heroes wake up in a different dimension. Wolverine is the first one to wake up in this new reality, and every person he touches will get their memories back because he's from, and it's nuts. And Spider-Man is married to Gwen Stacy. Ben Parker didn't die, and he has passed himself off as a mutant, but then in his story, he is called out, and it's revealed that he's just a human who got powers. That's not good. So it was a crazy story. Captain America never froze to death. And he just becomes a quiet old man, and they question whether or not to give him his memories, but they just find him in his 90s. Looks like he's 60. And they're like, you know what? It'll just hurt him. So it's crazy. So Wanda is always this force that snaps one day. And I feel like they did it well in the MCU. And I know you didn't watch WandaVision.
I haven't watched WandaVision.
But it really does kind of like end with you going, I think she might have resolved it. But she was just on this little point You know, she's the egg on top of the roof. You don't know which way it's going to fall. And I thought she was terrifying.
Oh, she was absolutely terrifying.
So if you had to take away that prejudice of her being the villain, how was she as an MCU villain? Really? Be honest.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
She was a good villain. I did
It
have
just
an
hurts
issue.
though, doesn't it?
It hurts so bad. I did have an issue with how dark the movie was.
It's dark, isn't it?
Here's the thing. It low-key felt like
An R-rated movie?
no
Horror?
like a Zack Snyder movie.
No, I kind of
Just
get what you're
in the
saying.
way that it's darker than
It
the regular,
is
your
dark.
traditional Marvel movie.
And if they would have taken America Chavez out of it, I don't feel like we're going to see her anymore. And I feel like they're doing the same thing with America as they did with Shang-Chi. And we're just not seeing these characters anymore. And it's just bugging me. So we should have introduced her later on. She could have been a big thing later on in the multiverse. But this one should have just been about Doctor Strange dealing with this. Especially after, you know, this takes place a few months after Spider-Man. He understands the multiverse is a thing and he's looking into it and he's seeing that something is messing with it, and technically he's the sorcerer. Well, he's not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore in this movie, is he?
No,
But
he never was, because it was always went from
They didn't explain that very well. He does become Sorcerer Supreme in the first one, but because the blip happened and he vanished,
Wong took over.
Wong took over.
Okay. Yeah, that's not really very well explained.
No.
I always thought that it was Doctor Strange didn't become Sorcerer Supreme.
I don't know. I'll have to, maybe I'll have to check that. But
I'm not
from
sure.
what I remember is he was the Sorcerer Supreme because, Wong, even in like Endgame, Wong was always like beside him and talking to him and talking about how his duties he needs to do. Because even Thor, when he introduces the Thor, he's like, hey, I'm supposed to be watching the world right now So, I don't know. I'll have to check that because now I'm confused. Because I swear I thought he was, and then he got blipped. Because she even says, you're the Sorcerer Supreme in every one, and I think, I don't know. Now I'm kind of, just want to do a double check. So yeah, he did become Sorcerer Supreme. That was the big deal at the end of the first movie. And then they kind of did that. So yeah, just want to make sure. I'll edit that little pause out. But yeah, so Wong had to take over, which Wong is awesome in this movie. He's awesome in everything I've seen him in. I love him. I loved him when he was in Shang-Chi. I was like...
I love Wong. Wong is one of my favorite characters.
He has been in so much stuff, and he's been connecting everything, and I hope that he's a big part in this, but also I don't know what's going on, and I'm kind of sad for you, though, because Deadpool movie is probably going to be restarting everything, and hopefully they come out with the PG-13 version, because I know you don't want to see R-rated movies. Mm-hmm. So, but I will go see it for you, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, so what did you like about it other than, with Wanda? So it was dark. It is a dark movie.
I liked how weird it was.
It was weird, huh?
It was very weird. It was almost like an acid trip. I've never done drugs, but
that's what we could imagine would be an acid trip.
Yeah. And the monsters were cool. Some of them were...
Did you ever jump?
No.
No? Did you watch it at night or during the day?
I watched it this morning.
Oh, that's right. Man, you watched that in a dark theater, not knowing what's going on. Mm-hmm. There were some scenes that I was kind of getting freaked out of. Any big surprises that you were like, what were some of the surprises that you were like, oh, did not expect that?
I don't know.
Oh, and I'm talking like the Illuminati with all those people? That wasn't surprising?
The fact that they were the Illuminati was weird.
So, okay, I will say, for everyone out there who doesn't know Marvel, there is a group in Marvel that they call themselves the Illuminati, and that is Iron Man, Professor Xavier, Namor, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and a few other, Black Bolt, and a few others. Mm-hmm. In the comics, after a few events, I believe a few events after Civil War even, they sent Hulk to another planet, and that's what loosely Thor Ragnarok is loosely based off of with Hulk going to another planet and becoming a gladiator. That's its own thing. So there is a Illuminati in the MCU. They are like the guys from every single group, and they go, we're going to make the hard decisions, just like they said in this movie. They're going to make hard decisions that no one else will. So these guys were implementing that there were Avengers, there were X-Men, there were all those things in that universe, and they were the ones that made the hard decisions. So
Yeah. That was a little weird. The whole thing with Charles Xavier made me happy. I thought that was really cool.
him being in his yellow.
I heard the music and immediately I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I know. Patrick Stewart rolled up and I went, I had no idea.
Yeah, that was good.
Ooh, Reed Richards. Speaking of Reed Richards, though, did you hear that they just announced the cast of Fantastic Four?
I did.
And I'm kind of excited, except for Pedro Pascal.
I didn't. I haven't heard who they are. I just know that they've announced it.
So Pedro Pascal is going to be Mr. Fantastic, the Mandalorian, which
That doesn't really fit.
I know, but maybe he'll work. Everyone's been saying that. I'm going to give him a chance because he can do multiple ranges. I've seen him do funny characters. I've seen him do serious. I think if he plays it, I think he will. Most likely, we will all
do a good job.
will rock it. But I'm a little nervous. Everyone else they've picked, I don't know if you saw Stranger Things, the newest season, but the D&D guy. Oh my goodness!
Kind of the main character.
No. He was introduced in the new season. He was the D&D guy who they all love. You probably saw memes of him. But the new cast looks good. But we're not here to talk about that. I was just kind of stoked, though. I think it looks good. And I hope after Deadpool, we will see some big changes. So,
Okay. Well, it's, let's see. Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
Show me the thing. The actual...
And rumor is they might take place in the 60s, which I don't know what that means. And it's funny because Doctor Strange says, "Did you guys do something in the 60s?" Which I think was meant to be I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know.
I saw that because there's the poster. The thing is reading a presidential election from the 60s.
And if you look behind him is the picture of him as his astronaut self. So I hope it's good. Maybe someone at the at Marvel headquarters heard our podcast and they were like, "Oh!" I'm just kidding.
I doubt it.
We get a call. So we just want to get your permission on some things. I'd pee my pants.
I would too.
It's not much of a check, but here you go.
Mm-hmm. I liked Mr. Fantastic. I think
John Krasinski really could have been a great.
I think John Krasinski did a really good job. I think I want him to be in the MCU more than just to die.
It was. I think he did that just to please everyone. Say, look, I played Mr. Fantastic. Wow, I did it.
Yeah.
They were debating. I swear there were rumors of Tom Cruise being superior Iron Man.
I've heard that.
And they were going to have him be in this movie, and because that's where all the Ultrons were coming from, and I was like, so
that would have been weird.
I think Tom Cruise could be a good Iron Man.
I think he could.
I think he'd be a perfect Tony Stark, and an older Tony Stark, just wiser in the silver blue armor, and just basically connected to the AI. Oh, terrifying! He could do it. Whew. Yeah, I thought having Captain Marvel's friend, and I can't remember her name at the moment.
That was cool.
And then having Captain Carter. Straight from she's not the same as the Captain Carter from What If, but it was just cool to be like, oh yeah, okay, so there's all these different. It was cool to see like these what if scenarios. But this movie, in my opinion, was doing the MCU multiverse okay, because it was showing there's a lot out there, and if we're not careful, stuff's gonna happen.
The Macguffin was weird. The whole thing where Wanda literally just wanted her boys makes sense. That's cool. But then she goes total supervillain to get there. I, again, it just bothered me
I think they
because
should have.
I love her as a character because you go from Age of Ultron, right, where she's helping Ultron and then ultimately realizes he's psychotic, and she becomes an Avenger and pushes through her fears.
When you get walked through that door, you're an Avenger now.
Uh-huh.
And now yeah, I see what you're going. I see.
Go from being an Avenger, helping defeat Thanos, right? Obviously, she lost Vision, which is terrible, but at the same time, everybody lost something. I know, I get it. I get it.
But we kind of saw a hint of her,
I just
how her rage, because well, in the WandaVision show, I won't go too much into it, but but she's warned by a character about the Scarlet Witch, that she is something that witches and sorcerers have been worried about. Which, again, the MCU promised us that we wouldn't have to watch the show, and you technically didn't. But I think the beginning of the show should have been her, like after the big reveal, we should have seen her messing around with, as like really playing with the fact that she was going to become the Scarlet Witch, that she's like, I'm going to embrace this dark side and embrace this character, become what they want me to be, whatever. I just think it would have been better just to really, I think the two main villains that we should have had for this movie, just at least two different antagonists, should have been Wanda and the other Strange. I feel like he should have been a bigger part.
I liked that is one of my favorite parts in this movie was the other Strange.
That scene was so well done.
Are you talking about the beginning or the end?
The end.
The end.
The
yes.
evil Strange.
The evil Strange.
With the music, because they're both obsessed with orchestras. Loved it.
That was very well done. The third eye thing was weird.
Yeah.
I think they could do without it for sure. The CGI of the eyeball
was terrible.
Was garbage.
Oh yeah,
it was literally it was just crappiest Photoshop.
Yeah, it's just like the Heimdall's son appearing, and you're like, oh, it's MCU hasn't been doing so good in the CGI department.
No,
they
spend all the money for the CGI on the fight, which the fights are awesome.
They were awesome,
very well done, but then they just ignore the rest of the CGI, which they shouldn't be doing. I feel like the third eye thing could have been okay had they actually put a little more effort into the eyeball. And there's the two post-credit scenes, right? And the second one, or the first one where he, after he's messed with the dark hold, I keep wanting to call it the Book of Vile Darkness.
What is that?
It's a Dungeons and Dragons thing. I knew you. Yeah, it's a. Yeah. Anyway, the dark hold. He used the dark hold, right? And it takes a toll, but like, the third eye is so dumb. I don't know. Traditionally, the third eye, having a third eye, right, in the center of your forehead, means enlightenment, right?
I kind of like that little play right there. It's evil enlightenment. I like it.
I don't want Doctor Strange to have a third eye.
I know, it's weird. It's dumb.
I think it's stupid.
No, I agree with you, but I thought it was clever. Like,
clever.
They've unlocked something, but there should be more. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the Darkhold, her fingertips going black was kind of told because they explained it in WandaVision that when a witch starts embracing evil, and using the dark hold, their fingertips will turn dark. They're becoming something different. And so she meets another witch or two, and they all have these dark fingers. And if you saw the whole time during the movie, she had the fingers.
I did notice.
But there was a moment or two, like when she breaks out of the mirror realm and is all like crunchy and getting out. Yeah. There's a part where she looks at the camera for a second, and I swear her teeth are like, I wish she just looked more demonic. And I know that sounds awful, but I wish like there was, and even when she snaps, actually, people are saying that she doesn't snap his neck. She like rips his head like in half, and then because the cloud overpowers it, because they're like, she did it way too broad, and she took his jaw with her. Anyway, it was a dark movie. It was insane, and it was terrifying, and I wish we would have seen more of that, and I wish it would have been a better pacing, and I would have, if this movie would have been to the point where it would have been hard to watch alone, I would have been okay with that, because Sam Raimi, that's what he does. Doctor Strange deals with dark stuff. I would have been fine. Oh, they want him to fight nightmares someday, and if they can take the energy of this movie and just put it into that, and it's like a PG-13 but a harsh PG-13, like, hey, you might pee your pants. I have seen some good horror movies that are just PG-13 because of the suspense. I would be okay going to a theater full of people, and it would be hard for us to watch a Doctor Strange movie because it would be that scary. I'd be okay with that. I know you might not, but I would be down, because there were some parts that I was like, if they would have done this just slightly different and a little more rushed, I mean, a little more well-paced, like when Wanda's chasing them through the tunnels, that could have been something. I wish she was like on top of the ceiling or something, just like, like
That would have been
anything.
freaky.
Because she's turning into something that it's not her. And it's sad. And I know that hurts. I know that really hurts you, because I know you like her. I think we've talked about her before.
I don't know.
But
Probably. Whether on
whether
air or not.
on air or just in general. But and the MCU has treated her so good. And some people really did not like this movie because of that. But Wanda has to snap. And honestly, I don't think she's dead. I really don't.
When the tower collapsed on her, you see
you see the
burst of her energy, and that's supposedly, according to the interwebs, that means that's her power being dispersed. Her body's been destroyed, and her power is now out. It's the same thing, the law of conservation of energy, where you can't create or destroy energy; you can only transfer it, and it's the same. It's the same kind of thing with her powers, according to the interwebs.
According to the interwebs. So, I want to talk about the elephant in the room. America Chavez. I just... Look, and I've looked into her character, and she really does what she does. She punches other dimensions, and I think that she would have been a better, not a MacGuffin for Wanda, but a better hero later on.
Agreed. I think her story could have been a very similar one to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It could have been a little bit different from what we've seen before. Right. I watched Captain Marvel again.
And how'd it go?
Last week, 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't bad.
Have you seen it before?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just been a while. I'm going back through the MCU in timeline order.
Ooh.
And that's that's right after Captain America. So anyway, I was watching it, and I after watching this movie, America Chavez, her character just feels much more of a Captain Marvel type of character.
No, she's
just younger,
yeah,
less mature, less capable, I guess. But I definitely feel like her character should have. I agree. I think her character should have been introduced a little bit
Especially
later.
if they're dealing with other universes, she could have appeared much later on and been awesome. And maybe she could have been the MacGuffin in a later movie. But this movie, it just didn't fit her vibe.
No.
Like, it was supposed to be dark, and America Chavez is just so sweet. I loved her character. I love how she wanted to return to her mom's. And it was just, and I love the actress they got for her. She did a good job.
Yeah,
But
she did.
she was just not needed in this movie.
No.
She wasn't.
The plot of this movie,
It's like Indiana Jones. He wasn't needed.
I hate that you're right about that. I hate that you're right about that.
Only the first one. Only the first one.
And the third.
Oh.
Yeah.
They would have stolen all the cups, Tim.
They.
I don't know. But if he would have, maybe if Indy wouldn't have been there, they would have just showed him the passage and they would have just sent a bunch of people until they found the right one. I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that
Maybe. I don't
people
know.
in power would do.
I don't know. But no, I agree. America Chavez wasn't really needed. The story, the plot of this movie felt very stringy, if that makes sense. It just felt like there were so many parts that were unnecessary. It's like I'll use a 3D printing analogy because I've been messing with my 3D printer. When you want to print something, usually you have supports, and those supports help so that when you're printing, say I'm printing a person, right? If I'm printing this person, I need supports underneath the arms. I need supports between the legs just to make sure that it stands up straight. And when it prints, it's printing straight, and I can print those weird angles, and I can print the elbow. It's detached and lower than the torso, and this movie felt like there were too many supports. There's different types of supports. I've been messing around with using different ones, and there's your standard supports, and it covers all bases, covers everything, and half the time it's not needed. And then there's the tree supports, and that's what I've been messing with now. Is it's just little cones that go up, and they're hollow, and so they don't use nearly as much filament, and they still do their job. And I feel like that's what this movie needed, was tree support, not standard support. It needed more focus on the plot and less focus on all the tiny details to keep the world building going. And that's America Chavez for you right there. That was her character. It was all the her character is just the tiny details that made sure that the movie functioned, but it was done too much.
It was. I feel like her origin could have been great. I feel like she could have been, maybe a few of the Avengers got lost and they were traveling and they run into her and she's their little guide, and then she helps them. Because I like that she was, I don't know, I kind of had mixed feelings about her being the only one, but then it makes sense of why she would have this power, because she gets to travel and be like a chosen one of sorts. So she's the unique one out of everybody.
Yeah, I did like the fact that she is the only America Chavez. She is the only one in the multiverse with the power to travel through the multiverse. Because, and this is the way I'm looking at it, it's because every single America Chavez in the multiverse is her. She is every single one, just put into one. And so she's able to travel between those multiverses where
And
she
not ruin anything.
could exist, because she does exist throughout all of them already.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I see what you're saying.
It's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. It's like having a painting, right? Or a stack of paintings, but then having a metal rod shoved through all of them together. It's one rod. It's just stuck through every single painting.
I was thinking it more of like she has an all-exclusive pass. She's just dressed wrong at every party kind of thing. She can go to anywhere she wants, but she's just going to stand out a bit. That's how I see it. Because she's not going to, her existence going to other dimensions doesn't harm anybody. She has a free pass to go any dimension she wants. So I feel like her movie would have been better for her to kind of, the multiverse is becoming more of a thing, and she is introduced as a way, she's trying to get back to her mother's, and
maybe she's traveling the multiverse.
Yeah,
to
try and find them. And she also still doesn't know her powers. Captain Marvel. I feel like Captain Marvel could be. I know the Marvels is on there now, and I feel like we should do that one soon.
Ew.
But I honestly feel like you're right. She should be with like Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, and I feel like Captain Marvel could make her own team. And I know we say that now, and half of you going, "You guys should just watch the movie." Then it's like, well, that movie was just rushed and changed, and I've read so many stuff from actors from it. And maybe it's not bad, but I'm just sick of mediocre from Marvel. That's my issue. If they do it right, I think Captain Marvel could be a great leader for the Avengers. Because guess what? She is. In the second Civil War in the Marvel comics, guess who's the leader on one side? Captain Marvel. It's Captain Marvel versus Captain America. Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's like, whoa. And poor Miles Morales is stuck in between the two, and he's getting accused of stuff. It's terrible. I feel bad for Miles. It was really hard to read. I'm like, yeah, I'll just hate on Miles. I hate everybody. Anyway, but yeah, I felt like she just wasn't needed this movie.
No.
I feel like this should have just been about Doctor Strange dealing with the multiverse, especially because he's diving into it, and then we have Wanda, who is threatening it due to what happened to her in WandaVision. That's it.
See, here's what I would have liked to see in this movie.
Oh.
And this is my pitch for this movie.
I am ready.
Get rid of evil Wanda. Keep her as the good guy.
Oh.
Okay. I want the bad guy to be Mordo. He's the
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
post-credit scene for the first Doctor Strange movie, he's going around and he is taking away the sorcerer's magic from just around the world. That should have been the focus of this movie. They set it up perfectly with that post-credit scene. What it should have been is he's going around and he's stealing the powers from everybody. Maybe he gets Wong at some point, and that's what kicks it off. And what can be given can also be taken type of deal, right? Yeah. And Doctor Strange, maybe he found some mystical artifact, because there's always a mystical artifact when it comes to Doctor Strange.
Always.
So
many. It's like D&D. There's always something.
Yes, always.
We humans have always been obsessed with magic and fantasy, and I'm pretty sure Doctor Strange has some of his trinkets are straight out of D&D, or D&D has taken stuff straight from Doctor Strange.
Yeah. There's actually, I can go on about that. There are things in Doctor Strange that are in the D&D books.
And you were just like,
yes. Anyway, I feel like maybe he has a, I don't want to make it a dagger because that sounds too cliche, but some tool, some weapon that he uses, and it just drains the magic, or
he was just doing it himself, right?
Yes, but I want it to be more intense. I want it to be something.
So he's starting to siphon it now.
He's siphoning it, and he's taking it, and then he
can
use it.
A staff.
Yes.
A staff would just fit him, and he's turning into a evil. Would he be turning into a warlock?
You know
at that
how
point?
my Star Wars pitch for Episode 8 at the end. If you haven't listened to that, go listen to him now, right now.
It's honestly was so good. I loved it so much. I keep thinking about it, and I'm like, I would have killed to see this. Anyway,
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
But at the end, you know, with the force inhibitors, right? They give you more power, right?
Yeah.
That's what he could be doing. He could be going around and siphoning the power into his staff, or through his staff into himself, making himself more powerful. And it can go up incrementally, almost like hemalurgy in Mistborn series, right? You can only steal a fraction of the power for yourself. The rest is destroyed.
So crazy.
I think
So dark.
it could be something like that, where he steals their power, and maybe he gets Wong, and then Strange is like, okay, I can't do this on my own. Sorcerer Supreme just failed. How am I going to do this? And then he goes to Wanda.
Oh. Would Wong be dead, or would it? No, because he's just taking their powers.
He's just taking their powers.
Because he left that one guy crippled on the basketball court at the
Yes.
end of his movie.
Yeah. So I would have it be Strange goes to Wanda and asks for her help, because her powers are not sorcery, it's witchcraft. It's different. It's a different type.
So is it really like generally different?
Yes.
So even in D&D, it's
Yes.
witches and sorcerers different.
It depends on the world.
Okay.
And it depends on the type of magic.
Okay.
But yes,
for most part,
fundamentally in the MCU, it's different.
okay.
It's like that's a dumb comparison. Never mind.
When it comes to magic, Tim's
I like magic.
you get comfortable talking about magic, which I was surprised that you.
Oh, yeah.
So you did like many concepts of this movie, then?
No, I loved a lot of the concepts.
Did
I
you
just
like
felt
the first Doctor Strange?
Yes, the first Doctor Strange is awesome.
Like how much you like? Like it's like when you're like, I could watch this right now if I wanted to.
I could watch it right now.
Okay, let's watch it. All right, bye guys. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay, so he's gonna ask Wanda for help.
Then
So
they
is
would
she?
go-
So where would she be at though? Like where is she mentally?
I feel like
Because
she'd
you
be in a
haven't. Because you haven't
similar space.
seen.
No, I haven't seen it, but I feel like
Okay,
I
I'll
would
tell you
want
this.
it to
She's
be-
right. She's the egg teetering on top of
Yes.
it. That's where she's at.
I want her to have teetered off onto the good side. I don't want her to go off and kill people.
And guess what, guys? This is just another. It's a different universe, so we can do whatever we want here.
This is my multiverse.
This is the Marvel Tim, the MTU. Anyway, Marvel's Tim universe.
But no, I'd have her have.
TMU.
She's still struggling with the fact that, you know, she lost her boys. Her boys never existed.
She lost all of
She
her
lost.
men.
She lost everything. She lost her brother first. She
You need
lost
to watch WandaVision.
her husband. She lost her boys that never existed, but she made them exist.
In the comics, she literally
They
makes two
she
children.
manifests them out
Yes.
of nothing, out
She's
of pure will.
Yes,
And
she's
they're
insane.
taken away.
She's insanely powerful.
Yeah. She alone had the power to destroy an Infinity Stone.
She almost stopped Thanos when she showed up again.
Yeah.
And Thanos went, "Oh."
I have no idea.
That's when we all kind of were like, "Oh, that was the Russo brothers did a good job showing us like that little fear right there, that little anger right there that she did was something very different. Like, of course, Captain Marvel is strong, and she made Thanos have to be smart, take a stone out, and sucker punch her. Which again, I laughed. Shouldn't have laughed.
It's hilarious.
But it was so
every
well.
time.
The thing is, he had to like think on his feet, and it was cool.
Yeah.
How he did it, and it made you just go, "That was awesome," because we all were like, "Oh, Captain Marvel's gonna come in and save the day," you know, kind of like with Superman. Like I feel like if that would have been Superman, he would have done the same thing. Just whoop.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The point being is that
Wanda's insanely powerful.
insanely powerful. So you were saying,
I would have her. She's still grieving, and she still has the nightmares. But the apple orchard would be real. That's not the illusion. She doesn't have the dark hold. She never finds it. She never uses it, etc.
Or okay, so I will say at
Or
the
maybe
end
she
of
finds it, but
she was using it at a little bit at the end. So maybe just so we can make the continuity here, maybe she gives it up
yeah, maybe
to
she
Doctor
gives it to
Strange,
Doctor
and we see
Strange.
her fingers are all black,
Her
but they're
fingers are turned
healing.
black, and maybe they're not black. Maybe they're gray,
At
and
the
they're kind of
they're regaining.
color.
That would be cute if maybe like, or even like he could find her because she's secluded at the end of WandaVision off in the middle of nowhere, and it shows Wanda doing stuff like she's chilling, and then it turns the corner in this little cabin and it shows the Scarlet Witch with her helmet looking around all these universes trying to find her sons, and she looks at the camera and it goes to black. So maybe he could find her in that position, call her out,
Yeah, I don't
or
know.
at least like, or maybe you're right. Maybe she was like, "This isn't what Vision would have wanted." I know what you want, but the MCU really is going against you for this.
I know,
but
but
for the sake of this is your
this
pitch.
is my thing.
This is your pitch, and I think it could be possible.
Well, because
Maybe we should make it a bigger struggle because really they were really wanting her to be the villain, and maybe she gives in, and to Doctor Strange he takes it from her. Oh, I would cry at that scene because she's like, I'm never gonna see them again. I just want the okay. So now I'm curious. So let's say he gets the Darkhold from her. Wanda is now with Doctor Strange. Cool, they're gonna work together. What happens next?
then I want them to go and I don't know, maybe find that book of goodness or whatever it's
The Book
called.
of Goodness,
Um,
Book of Ashanti.
yeah, that thing. I
Yeah,
think
for the one who usually gets the names down, this one.
I couldn't remember that one. Yeah,
Can't believe I remembered it. I just sound African, so I remembered it pretty well.
yeah,
It's not Ashanti.
Vishanti.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
Find out.
I don't know. I just want Wanda and Doctor Strange to work together against Mordo.
Oh boy.
And I don't know. Her using the manipulation of reality, she can show off her true powers against Mordo, who has now the power of
Many sorcerers.
the power of 100 sorcerers. And I just feel like that would have been better because that for one ties Mordo back in. It brings him back in a movie where he should have been there. And it gives us a Wanda that fits my vision of her. No pun intended.
Your lack of vision is very disturbing. Shows him dead. Oh!
Yeah. Because again, Wanda is an Avenger, right?
was.
Obviously, the Avengers have their flaws, right?
And they've kind of disbanded.
And they kind of did, but at the same time,
I don't know, because we don't know what Marvel's doing. So it's really hard for us to talk about these. This is why talking about Phase 4 stinks. Because I don't know what
They're all
Marvel's doing.
standalones.
And
that's what it is. All
it
of
feels
these
like
movies are standalones.
I can't believe this is connected to Ant-Man. I can't believe Ant-Man's connected to this. Why is Kang in this? And then we have America Chavez who could just punch through dimensions. And it's just like America Chavez should have been helping a group of them. They should have stumbled upon her, and that would have been a great way to introduce her.
Yeah.
It would have been
Maybe-
fantastic.
I think for an America Chavez movie in particular, it should be the precursor to Kang the Conqueror's big movie.
Like Kang could have been just standing over there.
Avengers 5. Right?
yeah.
It's the movie right before Avengers 5 where Kang banishes a bunch of the Avengers to a different multiverse. And that's where they find America Chavez, and she has to figure out how to punch through dimensions and get them back to their.
Maybe she was like. Maybe she could have been a like a cameo, like Stan Lee throughout the whole movie. We just see her like watching stuff, like Death and Puss in Boots, just always watching, and then later on, finally, she stumbles across them. Something, anything.
I
But
also think maybe she could be being in the movie she's being chased by Kang the Conqueror because he wants the power of the multiverse to himself.
yeah,
Maybe that could be the plot for that movie, and the Avengers have to fight Kang, one iteration of Kang with by her side, and they defeat this one version of Kang, but others are coming, etc.
etc. It.
I don't know.
She just didn't fit the magic vibe, and they were acting like they could just take her power, which is like, does that mean that you can take any power? Can you take Spider-Man's power out of random? Like, how does this work? Or since because it's interdimensional, or you just it just
Yeah, how does that work?
yeah.
How
All right,
how
can you
does
take
the-
Cyclops powers, or is it just is it science fiction, or is it magic? Like, what drawing the line? It was so weird to me. It's like, and it was cool because when Professor Xavier points at her and goes into her mind, which everyone got mad, like, oh, I can't believe she controlled him. I need everyone to know this about Professor Xavier. Out of all the mutants of like the main X-Men cast you think of, Professor Xavier is not an Omega level mutant.
No.
Magneto is. Jean Grey is. Wolverine technically is. Cyclops, his laser beam, technically is Omega level. Professor Xavier, his telekinesis is Omega, but he himself, he's not that strong. He's just a man in a wheelchair with amazing he can reach the whole world with Cerebro. But he's not
He's powerful.
one-on-one. That's why Magneto has to wear that helmet. Because if he didn't, Xavier would stop him. But he's only strong one-on-one. And even then, if you have an amazing power like Wanda, you can kill Professor Xavier. If you sneak up on him, you can kill him. Anyway, sorry. Even Iceman is an Omega level mutant. But sorry, I can go off on stuff like this. I love Professor Xavier. I love Patrick Stewart. Everyone, if you are up to it, if you can find a PG-13 of it, everyone should go watch Logan, because that is probably my favorite version. I'll cry if I think about it too much, of Professor Xavier. It was very, very well done. I am so excited to see Wolverine again, but I'm also torn about it, Tim. He should have stayed dead. Spoilers. Sorry, everyone. It's been out for a while. So, I think... So I do like that version. I think that would have been a safer...
It would have been safer. I feel like the movie in general would have done better.
So take out the not MCU, take out the multiverse. This would have been fantastic.
Take out the multiverse. The multiverse, I think Wanda's character doesn't need the multiverse right now.
No.
We can introduce that later, and maybe she's slipping later, and more movies consecutively could show that she's beginning to slip. It's almost... Yeah. Again, it's the great power. With great power comes great responsibility, right? And maybe her mind is just slipping, and she's just having a harder time controlling her mind as the powers.
So I'm going to give you homework, is really try to watch WandaVision, which is good.
I've heard that it's good.
It is good, and I think it really does help show that this Wanda could... Again, it is just the egg on top of a house. You don't know which way it's going to fall. That's really how it ended. And honestly, for me, and I know you... And this is... Me and Tim don't agree on everything sometimes. And for me, I would have just done this movie very similar, but taken America Chavez out. I would have made it, and it's funny I'll tell you this though, they were gonna have, I almost called him Mordor. What's his name? Mordo. Mordo was actually supposed to die in the beginning by Wanda. That universe was trying to steal her powers because he heard what she did to that town in WandaVision, and he was going to try to, steal her powers, and she was going to trick him, and she was going to cut his head off. So, yeah. And Kevin Feige went, whoa. So, because of Kevin Feige, Mordo is still alive. I would have definitely not have had him be in this movie. I would have had him come up later. For this storyline in particular, just for this one, I like what you would have done, and I would have loved to see that instead, honestly, because this multiverse has been getting kind of sloppy. Yeah. Ever since Into the Spider-Verse, Kevin Feige said, I want it. They haven't been doing it. They haven't been delivering. Even Spider-Verse has been getting kind of... I just feel like multiverse has been a cop-out for anything and really everything lately, and it's just been killing me.
Anything that breaks continuity... Any mistake that breaks continuity, they're like, "Oh, sorry, multiverse."
And I get it.
It makes sense, but
because we've been having multiverses forever in comics, but
it just feels cheap.
It does. We've been going on it too much. Mm-hmm. Like the past decade has just been multiverses and multiverse. The only multiverse movie which I truly love currently, well, two, is Into the Spider-Verse. Both of them.
Yeah.
And Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've heard that's good.
Fantastic take on multiverse. Wonderful. And I think the feel that I would want for this movie is the characters I would want are Evil Strange and Doctor Strange. I would want the Evil Strange. I would have wanted that Strange from the Illuminati to not be dead. I would have wanted him and the other one, or at least that Strange and the one that the Illuminati killed would have been the two universes that like converged. They were messing around with each other. That sounds funny, but they were they were both dreamwalking in a way. But I think too many Stevens made it really weird. So I feel like just one Steven, kind of, he's doing the same thing that Wanda's doing, and Wanda's going to see that there's a Steven out there. And they even show us Stephen Strange in What If, who wants Christine, because in one universe, Christine dies in a car crash instead of Stephen losing his hands. Mm-hmm. And he tries to fix it. He uses the time stone, tries to fix it. He does everything. And then finally the universe just dissolves because he did everything. It was very well done. It's my favorite What If episode. And I feel like that want of Steven wanting to be Christine is right on the money in this movie. He loves her in every universe, which is so sweet.
Yeah, I liked their relationship. It was a little bit awkward, but I liked it. I think it fits.
It fits. He loves her. You never... Ooh, sorry. I don't want to get too personal and stuff, but sometimes you don't marry people you love, and it doesn't mean you stop. Doesn't mean you obsess about them, but you still have this like respect and care for them.
Yeah.
There are a few people out there like that for me. Not saying, oh, that's weird. Doesn't matter, but I understand what Steven's going through. I get it. But I hope he does move on. But I do love that line. I will love you. I love you in every universe. I think that was so well done. And it's like, yep. And I would want to keep that energy for this. I would have liked to keep that. I would have liked to have, there would have been two powers. The Scarlet Witch and Evil Strange are messing around with their Darkhold respectfully. And honestly, I think I would have had it open Wanda's eyes to see what she was becoming by seeing evil Steven. Mm-hmm. I feel like the final fight scene should have been with the Illuminati. I honestly wouldn't have killed any of them off. They would have fought with Doctor Strange.
The way
yep, I know.
They died made me just...
I would have had it been like three different parties. Doctor Strange with the Illuminati fighting a Scarlet Witch, and then that Doctor Strange. Whether that be theirs, who they thought they killed, or a new one, would have been totally different. So they're kind of proving to Steven, like, that's what you're going to become. And then finally, when they let him fight, it kind of shows, and it kind of throws down whatever. And I feel like the MacGuffin would have simply just been, they want to expand the multiverse. Wanda comes to Doctor Strange wanting to know more about the multiverse. Because like you said, the Sanctum has tools. They've been looking into it. They've been looking into the multiverse.
Maybe not expanding it, but even like maybe finding a multiverse where alternate Wanda is dead and left behind the two kids.
Yeah, even anything.
Something. Because I do like her focus on the kids, and I think that's cool. The way it was executed bothers me, as you know, as I've explained.
it hurts. It hurts, and I get it. And I feel like her coming to the Sanctum, trying to learn, even though she's a witch, they will accept all of those who will do magic.
Yeah.
But when she starts learning more about it, we see that she's been kind of messing with the Darkhold, whatever, all that sort of stuff. I just felt like there could have been many different things with this movie. I just feel like America Chavez wasn't needed.
Yeah. One
Take a shot if you hear us say that this episode. Jeez, I know we've said that a lot.
One other thing that bothered me about this movie a lot is how anticlimactic Wanda's death was. It felt her death felt rushed, in my opinion. It felt so rushed, and so it honestly felt a little disrespectful in my own opinion, because it was quick. It was just so quick. And usually when you have a movie where the villain does a great sacrifice because they realize they're wrong, it's a little more drawn out.
Yeah.
And it just feels more dramatic, and it feels more heavy. It's just, in this movie, it was like, I'm gonna destroy everything, lifts up the tower and drops it on herself, and it's over in 30 seconds.
Raise the roof.
And it's like, that just hurt me personally, my soul, because I was like, you take a character who has gone through a lot, who became an Avenger. Again, she became an Avenger.
She walked out that door.
She helped defeat Ultron. She then helped defeat Thanos, and
she killed all those people in Nigeria. That was great. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. But
that was an accident. That was mean.
all of the, there was that whole thing. And
she was the big focus in Civil War.
She was.
She was the turning point.
Yeah.
Because she was doing her best. She was trying. And you're right. This movie felt like it didn't do Wanda justice.
No.
But you have to watch, again, if you watch WandaVision, it helps a little bit, but you're still kind of like, really? Wanda's just gone. Huh? One of the best. Apparently, Elizabeth Olsen hasn't even been called by Marvel. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
They could have done a better ending for her. I think an ending with her going to be with kids who lost their mom, and then we could have seen a human Vision just walk out.
I think that would have been
and you're just
perfect end for it.
And you're just like, oh, and I could just imagine like the Illuminati goes, they miss their mother. And it feels, and even Reed Richards could, oh, no child should be without their mom. And, and they replace it. And, and she tries to like explain to them, and human Vision is like, it's fine. No worries. We have you again. We'll make this work, whatever. Like, and he's like all technical, like how he is, talks just like Vision.
He's Jarvis.
But,
he's Jarvis.
That would have been so funny. She's like, Vision. He goes, no, my name's Jarvis. And we all would have been like, oh my gosh. Just pass out. I would have passed out.
I don't know. I like the idea. Maybe this Vision could have been the Vision that they successfully got the Mind Stone out of his forehead.
Oh.
They succeeded.
Yeah, but that means those kids are like half robot? Like what?
No, because remember the cradle in Age of Ultron, it creates tissue. Living tissue. And they just,
so you're saying they created a real boy?
Yeah.
They turned Pinocchio into a real boy is what you're saying?
Kinda.
There's no more strings on him?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
That
I'll
was
go
that
with
was
it.
ultimately Ultron's goal.
Fantastic. I don't care what y'all say. Age of Ultron is one of my. Maybe we'll do a
Age of
countdown of
Ultron
the
is
best
awesome.
MCUs, but
That's
that's one of
definitely
my favorites.
yeah.
Ultron might have been human, but I honestly thought the irony of Ultron being human was so funny.
Hmm.
When I mean human, I mean he wanted to be a human. In all the other renditions, hated everything about him. But yet this one, he wanted to be a real boy,
Yeah.
and I loved it. And it was so funny how he talked. Sometimes you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet. And Tony looks over at Thor.
Beat
I
me
was
by
just
2
about to say it.
seconds. Uh-huh.
So well done. Do I look like Iron Man? Oh, so well
Don't
done.
compare me to Tony Stark.
It's so good. So good. And so why can't we have that same feeling at the end of this movie? Why can't we have they went so dark, and I for one am all for dark movies. I don't know. It felt like a lot. It felt like three different genres in one.
Mhm.
I just wanted there to be a movie where Doctor Strange and Wanda work together at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe in the end, maybe even the Scarlet Witch entity.
Maybe the Scarlet Witch is a different Wanda
Something like
who
that.
is dreamwalking.
Yeah. That could have been the point because
That
she
could have
touched the
been-
Darkhold. Maybe the other Wanda that we see at the end of the show was the other one going, I will find my boys. Just being fueled by it. And Wanda's trying to accept it. But then the evil Scarlet Witch is going, let me, give me, just
Yeah.
odium moment. Give me your pain. Give it to me. And, I will make everything right. Just terrifying. All these Wandas are just giving them her power.
Yeah.
I feel like in the end, if we could have had a happy ending with Wanda returning to her boys, she's in another universe. Wanda has a happy life.
They could end Wanda's story there. They don't have to
There's
bring
nothing.
Wanda back
There's
in.
nothing. A Vision. Vision is not back. I don't know what to say about it. You have to watch it. But Vision that we know is gone. He's gone.
Her manifestation of Vision.
And her manifestation of him is also gone by the end of the show. Like Vision,
Mhm.
the Vision that remains, something remains, and it's just not the same. And it's like we don't need a Wanda to be with that. Spoilers for anyone there, but
I think having her find an alternate universe Vision who did survive this who did survive the surgery and their boys are still alive and maybe the Wanda that she is replacing was taken over by the Scarlet Witch
anything like that,
and
just something,
was killed.
just a happy replacement. It just works.
Something.
They understand that stuff was happening to Wanda. But here's the thing, is what I want. Just a little icing on the cake to make everyone feel good. I imagine at the end of the credits, we see her playing with her sons. We see both of them watching them on the couch, and there's a knock on the door. And she opens the door, and it's her brother.
I love it. I love it.
And you just hear the boys go, Uncle Petro, and then the credits just roll, and then that's it.
I'm in love with that idea. That's
Cool.
our movie.
Cool, that's cool. So that's the end credits. So how do we get to the point of her giving up there? Well, again, I think that either the Illuminati does die, or at least it's a big old fight.
Big old fight. Maybe a couple of them die.
Maybe-
I want Reed Richards to survive. I think him surviving would have been good.
I think Black Bolt,
Black Bolt could have.
that one could have been. I wish that would have been done better.
Yeah,
Maybe
the way
he-
he
maybe-
died made me so uncomfortable.
Maybe she goes to talk. Maybe he goes to talk, and Wanda just closes his mouth at the last second, and then that's when it explodes his head.
and then she's like, "I did not mean to kill him." That's
No.
I don't know.
No. I forget, or maybe it was Evil Steven.
Maybe
Again, I think
Evil Steven.
I
would
think
have been better.
Evil Steven would have been the one that would have been terrifying.
I think Wanda doesn't kill any of them, and it's all Evil Steven. Evil Steven.
I do want the scene with
has that.
Professor Xavier and he's walking, and then we just see the Scarlet Witch keep appearing, and it's just another horror movie moment, and he's trying to pull Wanda out, and then we just see multiple Wandas like come out trying to, be free too. Anything like that, because this Scarlet Witch entity has just been going about. Because they said it was prophesized that she was going to be the Scarlet Witch, but maybe it was just she was just the perfect vessel. I don't know why I did the hourglass shape, but she's the perfect vessel for it. Kind of like what not Calamity, Mistborn, the bad entity. What's that thing called? Ruin.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Ruin wanted. He saw the perfect vessel in Finn, and he was like, I want that. It was kind of like that. Maybe there is just this other entity out there, the Scarlet Witch, and slowly she was going to possess Wanda. And it was funny because they've already given you my name. Might as well. Like, could you imagine just how cruel that would have been? They've already given you that code name, the Scarlet Witch. Embrace it. And then she's like, that's kind of mean. I think that would have been funny. It would have been perfect. I would have liked to have maybe at one point Evil Steven and Doctor Strange, he pulls him back into that empty dimension. They have that fight. Christine gets pulled into, and he's just wants that. And again, if that's the Illuminati's Doctor Strange, that's his Christine. He's like, they took her away from me. They told you they killed me, but they couldn't. They left me out here in this, and it just echoes, and it's just that empty world.
I like that it wasn't.
So you want him to be just a different one altogether?
Yeah, because what it was two universes that collided and they destroyed each other.
I've always thought it was the two universes that the other Strange, but there's so many out there. That's what's so crazy.
I don't know, and maybe I misinterpreted that, but it felt like it was two universes that collided and they're both destroyed.
Yep.
Maybe it's just the one that got destroyed.
Anything.
But anything.
So
I think it's...
The world is our playground with this movie. That's what's so fun about this actual episode. You were like, I don't know how much time we're going to do, but I'm like, it's a lot to talk about because it's the MCU, but I mean, it's the multiverse. But I think that... I don't know. I think that either way, having that evil Doctor Strange could have been a big thing.
Yeah.
Because he even mentioned that on her wedding day, she said this. And then he sees that Christine. Okay, yeah, then maybe that makes sense that Doctor Strange went crazy after Christine's wedding, wanted to make things right, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, no third eye, or at least just make the CGI better.
Maybe Evil Strange has the third eye. Don't give our Doctor Strange the third eye. That's
he does
stupid.
Sometimes have that. He opens it for enlightenment a few times.
I like that it's more the Eye of Agamotto. He is still wearing it.
That was the pun. That was the funny thing.
He doesn't have the Time Stone anymore, but he's still wearing the Eye of Agamotto.
I don't even know what that thing does, though.
It's just a lock.
It's a fancy thing.
It's a lock.
He should just put a picture of Christine in it and call it good. So what did you put inside there? Oh, my ex.
It's just Steve Rogers' locket.
Oh. But he can't do that because she's married, and that's weird.
Yeah.
But so that woman at the end of the movie though is supposed to be Stephen Strange's wife at some point. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't even know her name. I forgot it, but I looked her up later on. I was like, who the heck was that?
That was abrupt and weird.
Because two universes they're leading. I think they're going the Secret War route. I don't know anymore. Because again, I say that so much.
The Secret War thing, by the way, in my personal opinion, is dumb.
You don't want it?
I don't.
No?
No.
What if right now we've been watching two different MCUs and slowly they're going to converge? I've been loving that theory. That'd be awesome. And then that's how Peter gets the black suit in the original comics. Because the symbiote is in outer space and it goes person. So I don't know.
I don't know. I just want Marvel to be
fixed.
Well,
maybe after Deadpool and maybe after Doctor Strange.
Fixed or done, one of the two. Because the way they're going, they're continuing to ruin our stories that we've.
Yeah, I think they should just focus on
loving.
if they finish it, maybe they just do like a few special spin-offs once in a while, kind of like the werewolf movie that they have on Disney Plus, which is awesome. Everyone should watch that. Or just do shorts every now and then of like, oh, here's just a random fun story. Or like Moon Knight. Just
Like
do shows like that.
Or Shang-Chi, and maybe leaving the Shang-Chi completely unrelated to the other stuff.
I don't know anymore.
I don't know.
They were trying so hard and it collapsed under their feet.
The issue is they're trying to beat Phase 3.
They won't.
They can't. Phases 1 through 3 were so perfect. They fit together so perfectly. And honestly, the final battle where they beat Thanos,
Poetic.
very poetic,
Beautiful.
and that should be it.
Him sitting down, looking out, and it's just a complete parallel of when he won. It was beautiful. Oh, funny fact though. You know the scene in the first Avengers movie where Tony and Captain America are arguing and they're having this big debate? Well, if you notice, I've watched a video about this. It surprised me. That scene spoils the upcoming scene.
I saw that
You saw
today.
that?
I saw that
was like,
today.
oh! So for those
yeah.
of you who don't know, it's the scene where Captain America and him are arguing and they say, so what are you without the suit? That's the plot of Iron Man 3. And then they kind of make fun of Thor and they say, what if it felt if you had an alien race kicking down your door? That's Thor Dark World.
Uh-huh.
Captain America comes up and says, do you have an eye on who are you not watching? I'm watching everybody. Captain America Winter Soldier.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and then what was the next part?
Put on the suit. Let's go a few rounds.
Oh, let's put it on the feet. Let's go. Oh, no, it was something
Civil
about
War.
Was that No, there was Ultron before it. Something about it, and then then it's like, and then the final statement was, "Let's put on the suit. Let's go a few rounds," and that was Civil War, and that's just crazy because Ultron, and then that is just, I was like, what?
Well, and in the first Avengers movie, here's the way the MCU set this up perfect for Thanos, is in the first Avengers movie, we see Thanos.
Yeah.
We see Thanos.
To challenge you would be to court death.
Uh-huh.
And then it shows Thanos look over and smile, and you're like, ooh.
Uh-huh. And we don't see him very much after. We see him once in Guardians of the Galaxy talking to Ronan.
Yep. Which was awesome.
And after that, I don't remember seeing him at all. But it's like
he's at the end of Age of Ultron, and he goes, "Fine,
I'll do it myself." That's true.
But
yeah,
still,
there's
he was a
lot.
build-up, and we all knew about this threat coming.
Uh-huh.
And then when he finally
When he-
steps down and beats the crap out of Hulk, we all went, "That."
Yeah.
The
Hulk-
theater,
Hulk
Tim, was dead quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That beginning of the movie. I don't know if you went and saw it in theaters, but that opening night, no one knew what was going on. We all sat there like this, watching him get pounded, watched him stab Heimdall through the heart, and we all just went, Loki died in front of us. We heard his neck snap, and we all just
all
went,
within the first 5 minutes of the
first,
movie.
That's the beginning. Oh, Thor. Oh, I don't care. Ooh, people were mad about that little video I made about Thor because they were like, y'all are dumb. Y'all just don't like. I'm like, nope. Thor is supposed to be the tragic character, not Tony. Y'all can bite my butt. Whatever. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Whew.
The issue is they built up to Thanos and we got Thanos. That was 3 phases.
Fantastic.
That was 10 years. No. 12 years of movies.
2008 to 2019.
Yeah, 11
11
years.
years.
Over a decade of movies
Oh, sorry, 2007.
building
But yeah.
building up to this big final battle. And now we're seeing all of our big villains and everything now, and they're getting beaten, and we're gonna see phase 1 or phase 4, which is gonna have the same amount of movies as phase 1, more or less.
Phase 4 is technically over. It ended with Black Panther.
Did it really?
Yep.
There was no big Avengers movie?
Nope.
That's so stupid.
Phase 4 is technically over.
Okay, that's dumb. That's another thing that's dumb then. They
So we're going into
Marvel,
so
get back
Captain
on track.
Marvel is part of Phase 5, I believe. You know what? Don't hold up. Hold up.
Anyway, I feel like they're spoiling everything too soon, and they're making it they're not tying things together very well.
Yeah, so Ant-Man and the Wasp is the first part of Phase 5.
Wow.
And Deadpool and Wolverine, which the name is technically Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the name of the movie, not Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine are going to be changing the history of the MCU. They in the commercial, they literally show him getting kidnapped by the TVA from Loki. So, we're going to see what happens. And it shows him watching all the events of the MCU in one scene. And I go, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. I hope they come out. I heard rumors they might come out with a PG-13 version for it because they do want everyone to go see
I
it.
kind of hope they do. That's a movie that I would watch.
I'm excited for this. Captain America Brave and the Bold is supposed to come out a year from today. Valentine's Day next year will be Captain America Brave New World. So that means for the rest of this year, we're not getting any Marvel stuff.
I'm okay with that.
We are now feeling the repercussions of COVID because Sony, this is a random thing I was reading today, but Sony original video games, nothing is coming out this year until April next year because COVID, we're finally seeing the repercussions. Also, the strike. And that strike. It's fine.
We are seeing a few new video games in general, though. Because we
Yeah.
are getting a new Jedi game, which makes me happy.
Which one's that?
Well, we're getting 2 new Star Wars games.
I just want a new Star Killer game. That's all I want.
That would be awesome.
I just want that. I want that. I want Star Killer to become of Star Wars lore, not some Elseworld stuff. And I do want a what if scenario for Star Wars soon. But we've totally sidetracked, and I think that there's not really much to say except that this movie wasn't bad. I would rather watch this than Ant-Man. I'd rather watch this than most of Phase 4.
Out of all of the movies that have come out in the last 2 years, this is probably the one I'd watch the most.
It kept the heart of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
It just had it really was a good Doctor Strange.
It was.
His character was great. Every time he was on screen, I was like,
Mm-hmm. It kept the heart and soul of
he saved the movie.
his character.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had to make tough choices.
Yeah.
How did you like the zombie Strange?
I thought it was cool. It was weird.
I hate necromancy.
It was weird.
I don't like
but
necromancy.
I thought it was cool.
I don't like it. That makes sense of why my character is the way he is.
That makes a lot of sense.
I do not like. I find that so disturbing and weird. I don't like zombies.
I'm gonna challenge you next campaign to play a necromancer. Then
No,
you can play a necromancer. That's good.
no,
It's doable.
No, I don't want to. I like being the paladin that straight up kills undead things. I love it.
Fair.
But I think that all in all, I think we're just seeing that that Marvel did not take the multiverse very seriously. I think the idea of doing multiverses is very dangerous story-wise.
It's very dangerous. It could cause loopholes. It can fix loopholes, but it can cause others that just can ruin everything.
Not multiple galaxies or universes like we see in Brandon Sanderson. That's different. But we're seeing this is alternate realities. That's when stuff gets sloppy. Universes, that's one thing. Alternate realities, very different. That's why I think Brandon Sanderson is doing a great job. That's why I think I didn't like the end of Steelheart very well. But whatever. For anyone that's read that, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I thought it was cool.
We'll talk about
Different.
it later. It was different. It was, I have to listen to it again. I did love that his dad. Anyway, okay, fine. I loved it. You're right. I cried at the end of that book. I was like, oh, gosh. But I think this was a good discussion and a good episode. it does hurt to see Wanda go, and I think we're just
Yeah.
sad of what's happened to Marvel. But I hope that if there is a multiverse out there, that other me's are happy, and I'll leave them alone. I hope they were brave and they were able to make choices I didn't, and they are living better lives than I am. I wish that the best for them.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to try to steal that from them because this is my life and they can have theirs.
Yeah. I'm happy with my life right now, and I don't need anything more than what I have.
Yaw.
So yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Until next time, I hope you guys can enjoy yourselves, enjoy this Valentine's season. If you have somebody, and if you don't, somebody's coming your way.
Yaw.
Till next time, we'll see you later, pitches.